head to a link that my colleague Cheetos will definitely post in the chat, so you guys can go in and just answer an easy question in order to get a free ticket to go to Miami to this amazing crypto conference. All right. So,
which we are gonna be there
yeah,
as well, right?
and you can have a chance to hang out with us, and we'll even treat you to dinner and everything. So, yeah,
free dinner.
Dead serious.
Let's do it.
It's Miami, so
Yeah, what
it's
the heck?
Miami, so maybe dinner and it's gonna have to be McDonald's or something like that. But
Oh, man. Dinner on South Beach sounds pretty cool to us.
That
And
sounds
yes,
awesome.
someone said free dinner. I'm in. Sounds good, Endgamer. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and share my screen.
Yeah, let's get into it. I'm excited to hear about what you guys got. I know it's been a long time since, but I do remember the last presentation that we had. So give me a second to pull this thing up.
Okay.
We might need how many? Okay. As we go, I'm gonna go ahead and actually share this as well, so that if anyone can't see his screen, just because I know sometimes Discord is like that. So just give me one moment if you can.
I'll turn off my camera to make sure the internet works well. Great. So I'm sure some of you already know. Wait, should I get started?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Okay. So I'm sure some of you already know who we are, but for those of you that don't, we're Revenant, and we run a decentralized gaming ecosystem on the Metis network. Okay, so we migrated to Metis several months ago already in 2022, and you might be asking yourself why we moved to Metis. There are a few reasons. First of which is Metis is a young network with huge potential. It currently has few gaming protocols. And even fewer that are high quality, and at the same time the platform also lacks a service that offers a blockchain gaming and a dedicated gaming launchpad. So that's exactly what Revenant has kind of stepped in to do. All right. So just as I was mentioning, we're a decentralized gaming ecosystem, the Metis network, and we're really developing all of our work with three different target audiences in mind. First of all, we have gamers, of course. We have game developers and investors. So that's super important to us. But apart from that, our mission statement is, making blockchain gaming accessible for everybody. And that's something that, we'll be touching a bit more on in this presentation, as well as in the future, as you guys see, as we start to develop our roadmap even further. To give you an overview of the Revenant ecosystem, it consists of a few different things. The main ones that you have to focus on, first of all, are Revenant games, which are kind of represented by these three here. In the past, we released a mini game, but we're currently focusing on a really big game called Battle of Olympus, which is our flagship game. And my partner Franz will talk a bit more about that afterwards. And if you take a look here at Project Lazarus, you'll get a bit of a sneak peek into our longer term plans, but we won't reveal too much about that at the moment. We're also working on Revenant Launchpad, Revenant Marketplace, as well as Revenant Esports, because who doesn't love competition in gaming? In terms of Revenant games, as I mentioned, we have these three that we're currently working on, but the main one is Battle of Olympus, and that's the one that we're dedicating most of our efforts to. So I'm getting very excited and kind of just want to pass the mic to Franz, but not yet. The other big part of our work is Revenant Launchpad. And something we realized when it came to launchpads in the space is that a lot of them it seemed like they were just dedicated to, being a simple money grab, and they would charge super high fees and everything. And at the same time, there weren't very many launchpads for dedicated to gaming. Mm-hmm. So that's something that we're really trying to change with Revenant Launchpad. And apart from just helping teams fundraise and organize, the blockchain side of things in order to, raise funds, we've also started a mentorship program. So currently, we're actually working with two blockchain games. One's called Woolly Rocks, which is on the Metis network, and the other one is called Parallelium. And they're both actually very exciting, kind of remind me of, the Zelda games I used to play back on Game Boy back in the day. So, we're really trying to bring that classic, feel of gaming to, this, the most cutting edge technology in the world. So yeah, we're really kind of trying to balance that fundraising side of things as well with the mentorship in order to elevate the quality of blockchain games in the space. As I mentioned, the Revenant Marketplace will be a really big part of our plans in the future, because it will be a place for not only our NFTs to be hosted, but also, any of the NFTs from any of the games that we work with on Revenant Launchpad, as well as anybody else in the space who's willing to collaborate. We really see this as being a hub for gaming, in order to kind of make it accessible to everyone, as we mentioned before. Regardless if you're an investor, a gamer, or even just a game developer who wants to take a look at how things are done. As well, competition is essential to gaming, and that's something that we've seen is lacking quite a bit on the blockchain. I'm sure many of you are familiar with several blockchain games that, how would I put this lightly? They only have, getting money at heart, right? Whereas, the gameplay aspect of things is lacking severely. And you also don't really have a chance to compete against other players. So we really want to bring that to the games that we're going to make, and we really want to make something that's going to be great for the community. And nothing brings gamers together like a little friendly competition. So, at Revenant, we really feel like we set ourselves apart just by having an entire all-encompassing gaming ecosystem in which we have our own games, we have a marketplace, we have a launchpad, we have esports, and guess what? We're on Metis, a super, super cheap and super fast blockchain. I also saw that someone in the chat mentioned that Vitalik's mother is part of the Metis team, which brings us to my next point, which is that that's true. And we've actually had a few conversations with her, and not only with her but with other people on the team, and it kind of gives us some pretty good confidence about the team that we're working with. So having that close relationship with them is great for us. Let me just go next. So these numbers are a bit out of date in terms of the Discord and Twitter, but we've developed a pretty significant community, even through this bear market. And last year we already have a track record of success because we raised about $1.2 million to fund our operations, which gives us a very, very steady runway for the next coming years. So we've been building our team quite a bit in the last year. I think we're up to about 16, 17 people. Franz can correct me on that, with the bulk of people being actually dedicated to our game development side of things. So, we take that very seriously. The other thing I wanted to add, go here, which kind of touches on the future Revenant. And you know what, this roadmap, there's no need to really look at it because it's a bit out of date. The most up-to-date one is on our website. So I just wanted to talk a bit about the future Revenant without going into detail too much. What we're really looking at right now is our opportunities for expanded growth on the crypto side of things on the blockchain. So without saying too much, because our marketing director will kill me, we are definitely exploring the potential for cross-chain expansion. I'm not going to say exactly where, but we do see that as a way for us to grow and continue to make blockchain gaming accessible for everybody. And then at the same time, we're also exploring creative ways to ensure that our native token, which is GameFi, is a more viable investment opportunity than many of the governance tokens in the crypto space. So I'll give you an example. With Axie Infinity, they have their what was their farm token called? SLP, and they had their governance token called AXS there, right? And what you saw with SLP was a tremendous amount of volatility, and saw some of the same with AXS. And part of that is attributed because a lot of the liquidity leaves the system. So currently we're exploring some creative avenues to perhaps create some, liquidity pools that go outside of the norm of, let's say having an altcoin paired with like a stable coin. So maybe Franz, you want to talk a bit more about this at this point, or you want me to continue?
Yeah, I mean, one thing that we want to do for the liquidity, and this is still something that we, especially since as Alejandro was talking about, we are definitely looking at going probably multi-chain. So not only being, only in Metis. I think one of the things that we would like to do is I'm gonna use the word centralized, even if it's, a bad word in crypto, but the content within GameFi. And by that, I mean that, for example, instead of creating, normally liquidity pools are created within the token. So let's say GameFi, and then either a stable coin or a coin that has quote unquote value, right? So you will have a liquidity pool, which the pair is GameFi with USDC. So normally with, for example, Battle of Olympus, we can do, generally what you would do is you would do a pre-sale, then you would take, I don't know, like half of what you raise in the pre-sale, and you create the liquidity, which Battle of Olympus token and USDC. Right, so what we are looking at is, instead of doing that, what we should be doing probably is create a pair with GameFi and Battle of Olympus token. This way, if and when people want to buy Battle of Olympus, they need to go through GameFi to do this. So what are we doing? We are giving a real use case scenario for GameFi, and it's not just like a governance token with no meaning, right? I think that type of centralization within the ecosystem is very important, and it really can push up the value of GameFi. So I don't know if you wanted to discuss about something else, or I can do a quick presentation of Boo, which probably is something more fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it'd be awesome if we talk about Battle of Olympus right now, since it's what we've been dedicating most of our efforts to lately.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So exactly. So I mean, have you guys know? Endgamer. We are gonna be talking about Battle of Olympus now. I would also like to do a quick and sweet presentation. For us, as many times we discussed, I'm pretty sure that SV9 SIG has seen our presentation a million times. For us, what we are really wanted to go is get out of the play to earn really mechanics and get into a level where actually the gameplay is the most important part. So, and this is where Battle of Olympus comes from. So, a bit of a background about Battle of Olympus. And, the story is that there is the gods of the Olympus, so the Greek gods are real, and they're fighting for the control of this new city. So, and which is called Olympus, and it's a cyberpunk city. Always, keeping in theme with Revenant. So the fighting style. Sorry if I'm lagging. I'm a bit. The Italian internet is not the best. I'll be in US next week, so it'll be probably better. So the fighting style is similar to Street Fighter or Tekken. This type of 1 versus 1 fighting. However, what we are really trying to aim is for you not to spend time like in this type of like very esport based games where the most important thing is for you to know the combos and get the perfect timing. We want you to spend time playing the game. So, and by you playing the game, you will get better gear, which you'll be used to basically, get better stats and that way progress to the game. So therefore the PvE section is very important, right? So for us, what we are aiming to do is have a mix between a fighting game and our RPG type of game. So in the, a bit in the PvE section, this is gonna be the city of Olympus, which is divided in sections. and each section is going to have different missions which you can complete. And in games generally you will have two different teams. So you will have the good guys like Zeus, Apollo, etc., and you have the bad guys, Hades and Ares, and these kind of guys. And depending actions that you do in the game, you will win points for your team. So let's say that you complete missions or you win against somebody else in PvP, then you will gain points for your team. And in the end of the season, which technically will last a month or so, then the team winner is gonna get some rewards, which can be NFT, can be tokens, this kind of stuff, right? So what else? Talking about the gear, which was what we discussed earlier on. Initially, the idea was that we'll have a bit more of a degen game, in the sense that you will have the NFT that you need to buy, and then from the NFT, then everything's gonna be NFT. But as our mission statement states, like for us, it's very important for people who are not into the crypto gaming and are not really, let's say that they never even got into crypto, that they really want to play this game. So the barrier entry needs to be very low or none. So, for example, this game, we are looking to start the process and get it into Steam Early Access. So there will be no crypto initially. But the crypto part is definitely something very important. So we want to add crypto on it. However, the crypto side of things needs to be something which it cannot be forced on the player. So it needs to be something that for us is going to be optional, right? So you have the option to mint an armor or your account if you wish to do so. Otherwise, you don't need to do that, and you can just play like a normal game. And for us, it's very important, because this way you don't need to be a degen, or you don't even need to know anything about crypto to play the game, right? However, if you play against somebody else and they have some super cool armor, you're like, oh, how can I get this? And it's like, oh, well, you need crypto. So rambling a bit, what is the current we think issue with the first generation of crypto games? And it's the play to earn model. And the play to earn model is an issue because you're basically creating tokens out of thin air, which then you are basically selling into the liquidity, and you're draining the liquidity that way. And that is basically a Ponzi, right? You're creating things out of thin air, and you're just you will get to nothing. So it doesn't have longevity. Again, quick money grab, Ponzinomics, and generally the gameplay is almost none. So again, the solution is what we're talking about, like a game that is actually about gaming. It's not about just the crypto aspect of it. Again, a solid and proven economy, so a game that it can be played in multiple platforms. Again, initially we were aiming to do it on Steam, and then also port it for Android and iOS if they allow. And then we will see in the next slide, but it's you earn not by default, but you earn if you are good and if you get lucky. So how do you make money, which in the end of the day obviously is very important for all crypto aficionados, right? And for us, again, this is something that we are happy to talk with the community, but we think that the best way of doing this is by the NFT minting and trading. So again, you kill a monster, you open a loot box, you get lucky, you get a very cool NFT, and you're like, well, let me mint it and then sell it in the market. That way, only really good armors are going to be minted, not everything, right? And obviously there is the choice of minting or not. I'm actually going to answer a question that Endgamer has. which says, will there be any advantage of being a Web3 gamer versus Web2 gamers? Yeah, there will be, in the sense that, again, we don't want to make it, let's say, too pay to win, in the sense that probably the PvP aspect is not going to have a lot of difference. However, as general games do have like premium currency, and this premium currency will need to be bought with crypto. So, this premium currency, again, we are working on the game's documents still, so we don't have anything set in stone yet. But, this kind of premium currency, it will allow you to buy some, for example, loot boxes and different things within the game. So, again, we're talking about the NFT minting, NFT trading, and also season. So aside from the seasonal stuff, we are also aiming to have tournaments and matches. And, as Alejandro said, the esport for us is very important. So who are we? Like, why, one of the main slides when you are applying for funds generally, for VCs and all that, is the team, right? Because obviously you can have a great idea, but if you don't have nobody to execute it, really is no good. So, for us, we have been building our team, just starting me and Alejandro in December last year. And now I think, we're at 18 people. And we are really build a really good team. Obviously here I'm talking about mainly the dev guys, but we have really people that work in a lot of gaming fields and really good gaming companies like Ubisoft, Kingwing, G2A, Rogue, or Tango Works. Honestly, I could fill the whole page with the companies with a lot of these people, so it'll be very good. So, and finally, the roadmap, like what are we looking for Battle of Olympus? So in this year, we are really working on the game mechanics. So we're working on having a game that visually looks good, and as well, the gameplay is very good. So, you're looking at the feeling of the game to be good. Then for next year, in the first half of the year, we're looking to release the PvE demo, so the city where you can conquer and all that. Most likely, we already have a lot of the NFTs done, but we would like to finish a lot of the armors within the game. And as well to do the PvP, so you guys can start fighting each other, and the Steam Early Access, which we already started the process. And then by the end of next year, we are looking to implement the crypto, and for sure the token, pre-sale most likely. We will look in that middle of next year. Again, depends on market conditions, but probably. And we're looking to finish the game by the end of next year. No financial advice, of course. So, by the way, right now, there is like a form which you can sign in, and if you are in the early access, you will get a chance to get into the pre-sale early. So it is financial advice. Go in and unsubscribe, let's say. So I think that's it, but for Battle of Olympus.
Awesome. Yeah, love it. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say, yeah, like just the last thing that Franz was saying, like, I mean, getting early access to the game is gonna be huge, especially as you guys are a community of investors and everything. I mean, there's nothing better than getting in early and getting those sweet gains. So if I were you, I'd definitely head over and register for early access, and we'll drop the link in the chat in a sec.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. Very, very cool.
Yeah. But just want to thank Cardinal House for letting us take the plunge, so to speak. And looking forward to hearing your questions, guys.
Yeah, go ahead and start dropping questions in the Cardinal Plunge if you haven't. I know we kind of been answering a couple as we go, but I want to touch a little bit on. So you guys are releasing. Do you plan on releasing like a token for every game, or are you using the your actual? Because I think it's the GameFi token, right? Is that correct?
Uh,
That's correct. But we are looking to release a token for every game because the economy of each game probably is much different from one to another. You know, for instance, if you have a game which is, I mean, not that we're gonna make an MMO, but like if you have an MMO game, then you're looking to have much more money, let's say, within the game than if you have something like Candy Crush, right? Right, which you can use like, let's say, 5 gems to replay the level. However, in MMO, 5 gold is nothing, right? So I think it depends on each game and also the tokenomics of each game as well. Probably are gonna be way different one from another, right? So yeah, we are looking to release a token for each game. However, the liquidity pool, we are aiming to create it with GameFi, right? So that way, the circle completes within the ecosystem. Does that make sense?
So you're gonna pair it to the GameFi token. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Gotcha.
Again, this is not set in stone, but probably that's what we're gonna be doing, because that way you create a real use case scenario for GameFi, right?
So will all these different heroes or like the different gods that you're building up, right, through training and battling and all these different through that kind of one-on-one mechanism, are those actually on the blockchain? Like, can you go ahead and train one up and sell it on OpenSea, or how does that all work? Or not OpenSea, but sell it on your marketplace?
Yeah, that's a good question. Probably you will need one. Again, this is not set in stone, but for now, the vision that we have is that you're going to, once you buy the game, you're gonna create a character. So that character can be minted as an NFT. But again, it can be, it doesn't need to be. But for you to get another character, you're gonna have to buy another game. A bit like an NFT, so to speak, right? Like, if you want a different NFT, then you're gonna have to buy another one, right? Or mint another one. But obviously that character probably is the whole account. So you'll be able to mint the character with the whole account, which all the armors and weapons are gonna be tied to it. So NFT wise, you're gonna have the account, which you can mint, and as well as the armors and all the artifacts, which again, there is an option for you to mint. So if we take a look, for example, of World of Warcraft, then you could mint the character, or you could mint the weapons within the character, right?
Gotcha. So you could theoretically like purchase, like if you were coming into it and you're like, hey, I have money, I don't have a lot of time to play, but I want to kind of speed this up. You could purchase on the open market one of the NFTs and get some of the armor and other things, right? And then likewise, if you were really good at the game, you could trade them up and train them up and sell them off, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Again, we really want to focus a lot in the RPG type of gameplay. So, we want to reward people who play the game. And by that is not by giving like money for free, but it's by giving, obviously the more time you play the game, the more times that you redo the missions, which by the way, they're gonna be roguelike. So every time that you play a mission, it's never gonna be the same. You are going to get a better chance for the end boss to drop you some cool armor, which give you better stats. So when you do the PvP, you have a slight edge against somebody else. Again, this is obviously the same as in shooter games or in any type of skill-based games. Your skill is more important than the RPG, the RPG side of things. But if instead of 100 health you start with 120, then obviously you have like 20% more advantage, right? yeah, so of course, like if you know don't have time to play or you just want to ape in, you can just go into marketplace, buy the best armors and web armors, artifacts, and
Mm-hmm.
and these kind of things, um, and then just wear them, and also the armors and artifacts we are going to, depending the ones that you equip, you will have different combos. So the style of fighting will be different depending the armors, right? So there will be some type of meta of better armors and yeah, anyway, this kind of thing. So yeah, for sure. Like obviously the you will be able to buy stuff directly on the market if you wish to do so. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Got it. And what is the way that, like, just to touch up on this early, what is the way that you guys are onboarding new projects? Because you guys are also, let's go back to Revenant real quick. Revenant itself is turning into a game studio, right? And that's what Revenant has been. Is that correct?
So, I think, yes, we definitely started as a game studio
Mm-hmm.
and expanded into this launchpad concept, which I
Mm-hmm.
think is what you're referring to.
Yes.
And the way we onboard projects, really, we have a pretty like strict vetting procedure,
Mm-hmm.
and we tend to work with projects at different levels. So right now, the projects we're working at are like pretty early stage in their careers and everything. So in that there we're providing like a much more hands-on mentorship role, but there's definitely opportunity to work with projects that are
Mm-hmm.
aren't needing as much of like the early legwork. Rather they might need, okay, let's figure out talk about strategy about fundraising, or let's organize like this actual raise and like get the blockchain work done.
Mm-hmm.
But before we select a project to work with, we do our due diligence. And one of the biggest factors apart from their product is their team. We've already gone through countless different teams that wanted to work with us. But when their vision isn't as big as we would like, or they don't really share the same dedication or passion for not only making a game that's fun, but also a game that's profitable, not only for
Mm-hmm.
themselves but also for investors, then that's a really big red flag for us. So, we've definitely had to turn down some people because of that. But, we're happy to report that the two projects we're working with, Parallelium and Woolly Rocks, currently they're a blast, and they definitely share that same entrepreneurial mindset that we have.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like a really big factor when it comes to onboarding those projects.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And then are all of the projects you guys are onboarding on, I never know how to pronounce it. Is it Metis?
Listen, we've heard 50 million different ways to pronounce it. So you can say it however you want. You can even say Metis, and you're good to go. No, but so yeah, I'd say yeah, both of them are in Metis right now.
Mhm.
But one of them is a bit more chain agnostic at the moment. So, it's really up in the air as to, what the future holds. But, we definitely see Metis as a foundational piece
Mhm.
and a really great blockchain for any game, and especially for ones trying to get started in a space with low competition.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And
Yeah, yeah.
then, sorry, go ahead.
No, no, I agree with what Alejandro says. But at the same time, we are looking at other to expand. As you guys know, a lot of projects in Metis are expanding to some other chains,
Mhm.
and we are definitely looking at that as well. And we are already on the talks because for us again, it's important that a chain grows within the ecosystem.
Mhm.
And going omni-chain, it means that we have uh, more reach outside in crypto. And obviously, we want to start also quite soon to reach outside crypto, so into the real world, so to speak. So yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, you guys have I love the path that you guys are taking as far as the studio goes. And that, I think, the evolution into gaming is really going to be a huge piece. I mean, I think there's a lot of pieces that are coming, right? Whether it's the financial side of things, the tech, like there are a load of things that crypto brings, but I think gaming is one of those that is going to really play into that mass adoption piece of the general user actually wanting to get in because of the benefits that it actually brings. This is more of a personal question. What is the thing you guys are both most excited about as far as the gaming and crypto merging or spheres merging?
On my end, to be honest, it's really the potential that to not only bring, give blockchain gaming a good name, but also open up, I guess, traditional gamers' minds to the possibility of, everything the blockchain has to offer. Because unfortunately, right now, due to several bad actors in the space, it doesn't have the best I guess the best reputation. But I think with strong gaming projects such as Revenant out of Olympus, like we have the possibility to change that and show the actual benefits of blockchain technology for individuals, right? Especially gamers who are currently subject to a system where it's Steam or these big corporations that capitalize, where a lot more of that money could be ending up in their pocket, right? So. I'd say that education piece is the most exciting one for me.
Awesome.
Yeah, and honestly, we are seeing a lot of. I mean, for sure, GameFi is super early still. We just got out. I think now we start of the fully Ponzi projects. I think now with the second stage of games, we're starting to see games which are not full on like 500,000% in one weekend by you just clicking some buttons kind of thing. But we actually start to see games which are actually focusing on gaming, which honestly makes sense because making a game, it takes a minimum of like, if you want to make like a super simple game for mobile, it takes like 6 months. So, to make anything which is minimally decent, you are looking at a year to 2 years, right? So, and that take into consideration a studio that already is set up. So for us, like we had to set up from scratch basically. Obviously is something that we are starting to get at maybe 8 months now. So so it makes sense that there is not many good games because there's literally no time for people to make good games, still. But we do see things like Square Enix, for example, that they talked about NFTs, Ubisoft as well, even if their implementation was crap, but we still see like this move into GameFi. Like, people can say anything they want, like FTX obviously crashed and people, oh, this is gonna be the end of crypto. I mean, it's not gonna be the end of crypto, obviously, right? And crypto will be for sure part of uh, almost all our type of projects in the future, which include music, gaming, anything, right? Even education, I'm sure. So, we are just really, really early. So obviously, we are literally pioneering this type of gaming, right? So everything is like a wild west. Like we don't know what should be done and what shouldn't be done. But actually, that's why for us we are looking to take inspiration at the Web 2. So how is the gaming industry right now and improve into it, not just make it from scratch, but you get this armor instead of being locked into the game, we allow you to sell it basically, right?
Gotcha. Yeah, there's a lot of really very cool like ways, and I think they're not even. Realistically, right? Like 10 years from now, we're probably going to be thinking of new things that crypto could be used for in the gaming scene. It takes a while to discover a whole load, and they just have to become more and more creative. But I think there's so many different possibilities that it can actually come and play into, like, and create some really, really fun. Maybe not even just game mechanics, but fun ways that you can actually benefit from the game itself, whether it be monetarily or just in a very cool aspect of it. So I'm super excited to see how everything for the entire gaming scene. Why don't we talk a little bit more?
Did it cut out just for me, or did it cut out for everyone?
Hello? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, Chris cut out.
I cut out. Okay. What I was what I was getting at is that basically you guys are one of those people that I would consider kind of leading this charge into seeing all the different possibilities that you can have into merging crypto and gaming, and I think that's amazing. How big of a role does the esports side of things play into what you guys are building? And what is the plan to move forward with that?
Yeah, I mean, esports, I've been running a digital agency for 10 years, and we mainly work for the esport and gaming niche. So esport, I think, is definitely something super important, and the games that we make, I would like them to have esport as a big part of it. Esport is the new football or soccer, baseball, NBA, whatever you want to call it, right? So I think esport is definitely going to be a big part of. I mean, it is already, honestly. In some countries like Korea and even China is basically the official sport. So yeah, esport for sure is definitely gonna be just grow within the future. I mean, each generation that passes are gonna get more into esport, right? Like in 30 years, imagine, like I'm 33. So in 30 years, I'm going to be 66. And definitely everybody underneath, my, everybody who is going to be younger is going to be into esport like they are into soccer right now,
Yeah.
right? I mean, not everybody's into NBA and soccer, but, there's a lot of people. So I would definitely think it's the same.
I mean, we can already look at like the viewership for esports. For some games is greater than a lot of national tournaments for some different sports, right? Like looking at tennis and things like that. So the numbers are crazy already, and they're only going to continue to increase. But yeah, I'm 100% with you. I think that's very, very cool. Are there any other games you guys are looking at as far as esports, or is it just kind of waiting and continuing to work on Battle of Olympus, because these esports games are probably not going to be out yet. They're probably going to take a little bit for the popularity to kick in.
Yeah. I mean, the issue I think with esports and crypto is, you know, games like shooters, which are big in esports, is a bit tricky because if you give the option for to earn in any way in a shooter, what you're gonna get is that you're gonna get aimbots and wall hacks like crazy, right? And I mean, let's face it, like nobody can really fight against that. I mean, you can fight into a certain level, but it doesn't really matter, right? So, like I think the crypto games need to be stuff that I don't want to say is unhackable because that's important, but it's impossible. But there needs to be games that are hard to like is that's also one of the reasons why I make a fighting game because there's a lot of or a racing game. Like how can you hack it? Is there's no aimbot, there's no like wall hack, and obviously you cannot. Yeah, I mean, of course, sure. Yeah, you can hack in a way that maybe you can make some super strong armor, but you know that is not the same thing as getting in a match and 360 headshotting everybody with spinning aimbot. You know what I mean? It's not, and those kind of things are easy to control. Like, for example, you could trigger for a fact that, let's say, an armor cannot have more than 30 punch power, whatever you want to call it. and suddenly somebody makes drops an armor that has like 300, it's gonna give you a trigger in the database, right? So these kind of things are quite easy to detect. But somebody who 360 no scope is, he can just create another account. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean esports. I actually still don't know how esports and crypto will mix. Honestly, probably I think the best example that I've seen is with collectible cards for esport players. It was very popular last year.
Gotcha. Um, my next question was going to kind of relating to that. Are you guys focused more on the play to earn games then?
Maybe quick clarification that we also touched on in the presentation is that we're kind of trying to steer away from that narrative of play to earn, just because the word play to earn has typically been associated with games that are Ponzi schemes that have an absence of gameplay. So we're more focused on play and earn games, which they allow you to earn money if you're good or if you get lucky, like in traditional games, right? I think we're way past the point where, as Franz was saying, where crypto is just, or blockchain games are just a big money grab where you're just giving away money for nothing, and then your project is dead in a year. What we want to create are products that people can continue to play for years and that we continue to update in order to feed like a dedicated community consisting of gamers and investors. So I hope that kind of answers the question.
Well, kind of. I guess more the point I was getting at, like, are most of the games going to have some kind of earning mechanism within it without the esports, like without like a professional tournament? Like right now how most
Yeah.
games are. Okay.
No, for sure. So like as Franz mentioned in in the presentation about Battle of Olympus, part of it, it doesn't even have to be these huge tournaments or everything. But you can earn money just because we have season-based competitions and stuff
Gotcha.
like that. So at the end of a season, if you win or you're on the winning team, then you'll be able to earn some there. And then also in your regular, PvP fights, when you're fighting against other players and everything like that, you are able to, submit a wager, and then the winner gets to take, the spoils, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. Yeah, that definitely does. And we got another question. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say there's definitely gonna be several ways for players to earn money.
Yeah. No, I love it. I think that I'm just very curious on the whole ecosystem. It's very, very interesting. I come from I played, and I know we have another core member that have played some esports. So it's a very different scene, like, as you start to get into competitive gaming. So I'm just curious on how that's all going to be looking in 5-10 years from now. It's very interesting though. So how does the launchpad fees or token allocation for Revenant look when a project chooses to launch with you?
That's an excellent question. So currently, the way we're doing it with like our early stage I assume you're mentioning you're referring to the projects that come to us to launch, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, the way we're doing it right now for like the first few projects that we're working with, we basically charge just like a 10% on what they earn. So it's just that percentage, but that's because we really want to cater to early projects, and especially as we're starting out. But in the future, it'll definitely also be like the percentage plus like plus some tokens and whatnot. But we still, in comparison to other launch pads, we want to make sure that we're keeping our rates competitive and that we're not just taking ownership over someone's project, because we understand how difficult it is to create a successful game without investors or VCs like holding you down. So yeah, we try to negotiate fair terms that will, I guess, enable success for the projects we work with.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's very cool. Do you think that you guys will always be planning on pairing any project that launches with you to GameFi?
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Oh, sorry. Do you think that you'll always be pairing whatever assets, or like a game comes to you? Will it always be paired to GameFi?
Not necessarily, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, we don't want to, control anyone's project. We will obviously give like our opinion and, our feedback and everything like that. But at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day, we want, the project to, like, as we say to like Parallelium and Woolly Rocks, we can give advice, but we cannot make the project for you. So, even
Okay.
if, let's say GameFi, pairing their token with GameFi would strengthen it and like, contribute to having this overall great ecosystem, no one can actually stop them from saying, you know what, we want to actually pair it with USDC, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, we wouldn't blame them if they want to do that either. But, there are definitely benefits
No,
to
but
staying.
honestly, yeah, but honestly, like the pair with GameFi will only should be only done with our tokens because
Mm.
pairing with a token that is not, I mean, within our games, because to do that with a token that is not within our game, it means that again, this is crypto, right? Like we need to keep like some security. So, either they buy like GameFi to pair it,
Mm-hmm.
or or otherwise they will need to, like, we cannot give them
Yeah.
GameFi and
Yeah.
they put the token because they could just drain all the GameFi, right? So
Yes. I figured that they would be purchasing it in that situation. But yeah, 100%
yeah.
agree with you there. Um, awesome, awesome. The next piece, like, is there a way that people coming in, let's say that they aren't launching on Metis yet, can still be working with your studio? Like, do you have a way to work with people? Because I know Polygon is one of the bigger ones. Someone came on Polygon, or
Yeah.
maybe Arbitrum grows next run, and someone's on Arbitrum and wants to come in.
Arbitrum,
Yeah,
big Arbitrum fund.
No, of course, we can definitely work with anybody, regardless of
Hmm.
chain. Especially because, as I mentioned before, like the Launchpad is not just about helping
Hmm.
people fundraise; it's also about mentoring projects. So, having your liquidity on a different chain is not really a challenge. Or, if you're a project in another chain that's looking for, support in launching your game, we
Hmm.
can definitely provide that.
Gotcha. Yeah, I love to hear it. That's really awesome. Is there anything that we haven't touched up on yet that you guys wanted to touch up on?
I think maybe the reminder of the
Giveaway?
giveaway.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, like no joke. Like it'd be awesome to hang out with you guys in Miami. So definitely get. It's the last day to do it. So if you guys could please like submit your entries to the giveaway. I mean, having a dinner all together would be fantastic.
Yeah, and honestly, like we went to the Central Austin and was really good. The VIP ticket as well gives you access to parties at night where you can meet a lot of investors, and this is very good for networking.
Hmm.
And also gives you access to like the VIP room where you get like free food and this kind of things. And honestly, the Central Miami was very cool in Austin, so we're expecting it to be in Miami. It's gonna be even bigger for what the staff told us. So we are really looking to go there. So if especially somebody is in US, I would definitely suggest you to apply, because if you win, it's gonna be fun.
Awesome. And is it being drawn tonight? Is it a drawing, or is it a application? I see that you're supposed to like answer a question like, should people be writing a paragraph, or should it be just like a simple explanation?
I mean, it's whatever you want. But obviously, yeah, we definitely we would love for anyone to put in effort in their answers, and that
Hmm.
stuff will be taken into consideration.
You're the man here first. 300 words or 300 words or more.
No, definitely not. But we definitely do appreciate the enthusiasm of anyone doing that.
Awesome. And is it limited? I guess no, never mind. I see all the benefits here. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so make sure you guys go click that link, fill it out. Regardless of how much you know about them yet. You can research them later, but this is the last day for actually getting into this giveaway, right? You guys are drawing tonight. Was it tonight or tomorrow?
I think we're drawing the winners today, and then we'll probably announce them tomorrow.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome.
Yeah,
Cool. So
we're
go do
really
that right
excited.
now. Go do that right now. Maybe they'll give you 10 minutes or something. But
Yeah, and maybe if you mention Cardinal House in your answer, who knows? You might get bonus points.
all right, sweet, sweet, sweet. So mention Cardinal House. Let them know you found us or found them here, or checking
Oh
them out
yeah,
because
yeah,
of the same
yeah.
Awesome.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming on. It's been great chatting. I'm excited to see what you guys are building, and I'm sure we'll be talking soon. Actually, I definitely know we'll be talking soon because I got something that I think you guys will like to chat about. But anyways,
Fantastic.
I really appreciate you guys for coming on.
Well, thank you so much for having us, and thanks to the rest of the Cardinal House community.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you
thanks
guys
a
for
lot,
tuning
guys. I appreciate it.
in. Thank you. Have a good one, guys.
Take care.
Have a good one.